Hey, welcome back to our weekly options forecast. And do I have a pick for you today? For all of you long-term traders, long-term investors, those of you that like to just sit and hold after you buy once and you sell it down the road, this is going to be the one for you. It's right up here on my chart. We're going to go through it in just a minute after we run through a quick recap of one of our best trades. ROKU, ROKU, absolutely boomed. If you guys were on this stream and you were trading with me right along the way, you remember this trade because we've talked about it a million times now. We were watching this blue box here. This was our area of consolidation where we needed to see the price hold up. We were buying at the bottom near this blue line, and we waited until the boom volume flowed in, and this pushed just $2 shy of our long-term target of $98. Over a $20 move on the stock in less than 2 days. Unbelievable. Our options trade was up over 150%. I know this one some people got stopped out of. It was a little bit of a tricky situation, but we still crushed it for those of you that did, along with a few other trades that made stupid money. So for those of you that missed this one, I have a pick for you. Not in the same vein, not in the same scope, and not even nearly the same company. However, this is a beautiful bottom feeder chart that has been ready to go for quite a while now. Long-term consolidation since January, March, pretty much happened in March. So pretty much ever since May of 2022, this thing has held right around 17, $16, falling down as low as 10.40, but then picking back up, pushing to a high of about $20 just a few months ago. So looking at this chart now, the ticker, I'm going to post right here so that everybody can see it. I hope you guys can see my screen clearly. Yes, you are correct. The ticker is PATH, P-A-T-H. This is a long-term position I have been loading into on the equity side for quite a while now. I was buying 11, 12, 13 bucks over and over and over. I've talked about this in the Discord. If you're not in there, I'm going to post a link across the bottom pretty soon. You're going to get in there and you're going to make some money with us. But this play is wonderful. It IPO'd back in 21. This is a very, very interesting company that I think everyone should, at the very least, have their eyes on, because I don't think that there's going to be a long time in which this company continues to trade down here. PE of about 45, which is a bit high, and price targets just a bit higher than where we're trading now. So I will say that this is not the kind of play that you're going to take to $90 upside in the next year or two. However, I do believe that this play has the long-term capability to run and retest back around 40 to 47 bucks. But more importantly, 63% institutional ownership, which is absolutely phenomenal for a company in the tech space. And I believe that this company is primed to close this gap, to trade at 28 again. I also think that in the long term, this chart is just so delightful. It's a technical trader's wet dream. Here's why. Crossed over all exponential moving averages except for one, that's the 200-day, which will meet us as resistance as we go through time here. However, RSI on the weekly at about 56, which means primed and ready for breakout. We've had this nice tightward upward consolidation for the past 7 or 8 months. Buyers are finally starting to show up to the party, trading at more than 2 times the average volume. This thing is primed and ready, and it is a very high reward, low risk trade with where it sits right now because of the technical setup. We love these curls into a nice flat bottom, followed by a little bit of a tight push up until we get over those moving averages, which are functioning as resistance when they're above us, but now they're functioning as support. They're all coiling, crossing over, and leading us back on the weekly chart to that 200-day. On the daily chart, here's where I like even more for short-term momentum. We have already crossed over that 200-day exponential moving average. We've broken above, fallen below, and then we've held up again, and now recently retested this as support, which means that this is prime time buy opportunity, ready to go, ready to ride, make you some money, let's make you rich. That's what I think this thing is setting up for. And here's why I love it, because the risk is so well defined in this trade. Cutting this off at about 15.60 would give you about $2.50 downside risk. Upside potential, I think, is about $10 per share. That's phenomenal. So it's 10 to 2, right? You're basically, for every $1 that you're risking, you're going to be making 5. That's the trade-off here. So again, no one's ever going to be right all the time. No one's ever going to nail every single trade. But what we can do is we can push the odds until which we are in a position to advantage. Font's too small for my eyes. Yep, the ticker is PATH. You can see it right here on the left-hand side of the screen. Dave, I love you, baby. Thank you for your support. Much appreciated. Hit that thumbs up if you feel inclined. Shows us that you like what we're getting and that it's paying off for you. That's all I care about at the end of the day. Give a couple shout-outs to the team: Steph, Nikki, Snowflake, Frank, Justin, Dave, little Frank again, Kamari Ronso, nice to meet you. I'm glad you're here. If you're new, type new in the chat. If you've been here a while, type your Discord name in the chat. That way we know who you are. We're going to be continuing to do some giveaways on these streams, so I want to make sure that you guys get full advantage of these giveaways to make some money, get some swag, get some free stuff, and have some fun. So once again, the ticker is PATH. That is PATH. This is a long-term hold. I'm loving this around $18. I think if we could set our cut point below 1561, that provides a nice risk-reward profile that is, in my opinion, very, very favorable to the upside. I think we're going to first see resistance right about here, about $22. We're going to put a horizontal line there. Remember, for those of you that haven't traded with us before and you don't know what we're doing, we're going to show you how to map out a chart in a very simple fashion, which is simply 2 lines. You don't need more than that. It's nice to put an occasional trend line, but to be honest with you, keep it simple. Don't make it complicated. You need 2 lines to identify horizontal ranges. You buy the bottom, you sell the top. We trade very simply here. We make a lot of money here. There's a reason we do it the way that we do. You don't need to overcomplicate it and use 40 different softwares. You just don't need it. You need to join us, follow the research we put out, understand the way that we trade, and boom, you're winning. Breckle, you're not new, so I don't know why you're putting that, but I love you anyway. So this is a great question. What do you consider long-term? So I would say anything with a 3 to 5 year outlook, meaning you're going to buy it, hold it, and wait. But long-term is really, it's subjective to the kind of trading you're doing. But when I'm referring to it, I'm saying, minimum 1 year, but more than likely 3 to 5 year range, where I'm looking to sit, buy, hold. I'm looking to buy, sit, and hold this to appreciation. Now, this one being in software and tech is subject to market volatility, which everything is, but I would say that this is subject a little more so be careful, which basically just is to say that tech companies are going to move a lot more, should move with a lot more volatility than you'll see, long-term consumer cyclical or defensive companies like Walmart, for example. Walmart's typically not going to see a 20% swing day over day, but you can see that with tech, which is why it's very, very favorable to trade if you know what you're doing. Hence why we've made so much money. Palantir, case in point, we were buying this down at the $6.75, $7. This thing's trading at 20. We took a 250% return just on the equity side. The options plays that we alerted are up over 500%. So that just goes to show you that tech is where you can definitely make some stupid money in the meantime. So we're going to quickly go through a couple of names. We're going to start with the SPY. We're going to head down the tech ladder. We're going to do Tesla. We're going to look at Nokia. That one's a little interesting. It's been coming up. We're going to look at AI. We recently took a play on that one. And then we're going to look at Target and JP Morgan just to get a good variety of names here. Then we're going to play, as always, a nice game of Smash or Pass. You guys are going to post the tickers in the chat of the stocks you want to look at. We'll take a quick look at the chart and decide whether or not we're going to go long. If we're not, it's a pass. If we are, it's a long, it's a smash, and it's a good time. Get a little drink here from my boys. Let's talk about what to expect moving forward on the SPY, the S&P. If we go to the daily chart here, we can see the RSI has been consolidating nicely, staying at about 70, which is overbought. Now, we are coming up to a head here as we're going to try to push this top at about 466. So we traded to a high of about 466 back in December of 21. So what does that matter now? Well, that's going to be our next most likely resistance past 461. So the 2 levels that we're going to look at, and I know there's a lot on the chart here, so I guess I need to start deleting some of this stuff because we are well past what we've done and we have crushed the SPY up until this point. So now we need to get rid of this stuff and remap, which I'm more than happy to do. So to make this a little simpler for you guys, as you can see right here, we've got this mapped out. We've got our previous high back in December, and we've got our current high in July. So when I'm saying that this is going to be our next resistance, what I'm saying is in the past, if you look in here a little more closely, the sellers have pushed the price up right here, and they've hit their heads, and it came down. The sellers have pushed their head against the ceiling here, came back down. Buyers finally broke through right here, if you can see where my mouse is, but then came back down and did the same thing again. Boom, hit their head, sell off. And then we did that even lower here, right? And so on and so on and so on until we get to where we are right now in our current trading day, which is right at about 457 and change. So as you can see here, we've outlined this little range that we're going to focus on right here, with the bottom being 451, the top being 460. That is our range to map out. Put these lines on your chart or save this video for later. Make sure you can refer back to this at any point so that you can understand what we're talking about. We're going to stretch this out a little bit. As you can see, we also have a line marked at our midline, which is about 456.84. That was our resistance we were watching over the past couple of days. It has broken above there. So what is next? Well, we do have upside room to test 460 and change. We tried the other day. We flushed out just below 460. So over the next couple days, we are going to see one of two things. One, in the bullish case scenario, we're going to see this stay above 456.84. Consider that your floor, and we're going to see a push to the ceiling, which is 460.77. So as you can tell, there's a few options trades in there. You can trade the 459 or 460 calls. Obviously, give them 2 or 3 weeks out. You don't want to be stupid. And you can trade them until you hit this resistance. I would, in my opinion, in my style, I would sell there and get the hell out. Or option number 2, which is the bear scenario, which is we can't hold 456.84. We sell off. We come down to 454. If we can't hold there, then we're heading back down to 451 or 452. So there are really only 2 options here. I don't see many other scenarios playing out here with all this volatility. I don't really see any sideways trading. I think we're either going to push up or we're going to come down. It's one or the other. And my vote is that we're going to push slightly and then we're going to push down and then we're going to come down, because I think we're a little overextended here. We're moving a little bit too much, and we really need to really just let off some steam so that this price action can kind of self-correct, move along, consolidate, and then head to the next move up. So for those of you that are trading SPY, you want to watch for that hold over 456.84. If so, you've got a bullish scenario to 460. If it doesn't, then you have a bearish scenario to 451. Either way, a very simple trade that will make you a lot of money for those of you that know how to trade options. If you don't know how to trade options, you're going to see a link across the bottom. I am going to teach you how to do it by joining our free trading education courses, completely free. I don't want anything from you. I just want you to learn and make some money. And if you want to try our trading tools after, feel free. No pressure. So the link is at the bottom. Just type it in your browser. If you already are in Discord, it'll open it up, take you in there. If you don't have the Discord app, I would suggest joining it now, or you could do this through a browser. It's probably easier to do it on your phone, though. What you will get is you will get the trading education of a lifetime. You'll get one-on-one guidance, and you'll get access to our trade alerts, which show you exactly where we're buying, where we're selling, and why. So with real-time updates along the way. So again, for those of you options traders, you've got your 2 scenarios. That's what I'm looking at for the SPY. I think it's make or break time that we're either going to go up or we're going to come down. Either way, there's opportunities for you to make money, and I really hope you guys take advantage of those opportunities. So moving on, one other stock I talked about that we wanted to take a look at is Nokia. For those of you, again, that are looking for long-term sustainability, this is one I do think you should bestow upon thine eyes. I think that if we can hold above 390 here, this is an incredible buy for a long-term hold that will stay stable in this range. We talked about options passive income last week. We talked about selling options against this position to make money over time. It's not a huge money maker, but it is something. I do think that there is some opportunity here to buy in the 370s if we sell off without it losing its opportunity for upside. But I thought I'd also make it known that I do think if we hold up right here and we can see a nice move, we've got some buyers stepping in, we've got some volume, this thing might actually make a move. It doesn't move much, but when it does, it's nice slow appreciation. So I think this is a long-term opportunity to definitely do a little more research on and investigate to see if it makes sense for you. Moving on, Tesla. The question on everyone's mind, where's it going to go next? So we crushed this, guys. We took over in total. I mapped out the total gain from my first options trade on this back in May or so, and all the way through our trades through July. We traded this whole move up over 1,200% total. So had you hold that one contract that's 1,200%, we rolled it into a later expiration, which just means we bought ourselves more time, and we made a lot of money on that trade. I know we also traded this in the equities from 115, almost 200% return there. So just unbelievable returns. This has been a great play, great trade overall. So what can we expect going forward? Well, again, just like ROKU, we mapped out this blue box here just to show us what our typical range is when we're trading in this area and what to give us an idea of what we can expect. Again, the past is the future with the lights on, especially when it comes to trading. What happened in the chart 6 months ago is more than likely to rear its ugly head if we're trading in that same price range today. So we've seen strong moves. If you go back here, we're looking back in September of 21, right here where my mouse is. You can see that we've moved from the bottom of this range in the 250s to $300 one time, two times, but to the downside, three times upside, four times downside, five, almost six, seven, eight. 8 different times when we're in this range, we move from bottom to top or top to bottom. What does that tell you? That it is more likely to trade from the top to bottom or bottom to top of this range than anything else. So why wouldn't we take maximum advantage of this by taking a trade from either the top of this range to the bottom or the bottom to the top? So as you can see here, we already took this trade. We made a ton of money to the upside. The question is, what are we going to do from here? Well, I do like that even though this was our most relative low at 426.23, so April, RSI came down to about 29, so a little bit oversold. Pushed up to about 89, overbought. Now it's back down at about 44 and seems to be holding as of today. What that means is that I think it's cooled off enough that we could still see more upside here, especially with how today ended, with a very compressed price action, not a lot of volatility. I think that we are gearing up for another move to test 300 and then go beyond. Realistically, I think we're more than likely looking at about 320, 330 as a price target. And if you look at the past of what's happened, when we break above this line, this stock rips. It did it a number of times. And then we will map out our new range, which will tell us where to trade it once we're up here. But for now, we're still in this range. So we need to be smart and see this go to 315, 320, and then eventually 340 if it breaks above this line right here. So again, bottom happened again. We're going to see if it's going to bounce off of here and then push itself back up. I do think that's likely to occur. I do think we could also see some consolidation for a little while, which means that this might trade a little bit sideways for another month or two before it does see that move up. But the opportunity is still there, and it's definitely one to watch. My long-term price target, not long-term, excuse me, but my swing targets, if you will, on this are between 315 and 340. I am aiming to start selling my position there, and I'll wait for a sell-off. We'll come back down, hopefully 290s, 300. And then once that new range is established, the bottom and the top, we'll buy that new bottom. So I'm going to do a quick pause. Does that make sense to everybody? If you could give me some feedback in the chat. Does that make sense, what I explained, to wait for the bottom of the range, buy the bottom again once we have established a new one, and then trade that to the top just like we did this last round? Is everybody following along there? Let me know in the comments. Waiting. Got it. I see one. Will I sell? Great expectation. Thank you. Oh. Sorry, I had the YouTube stream open. That was really confusing. But is everybody on the same page with that? Does that make sense? What we're talking about here? Are we on the same page with this? Real Exotic, great question. So are you waiting for a break and a retest of 303.94? Exactly. We've got our bottom priced in here, so we didn't even hit our top yet, right? We pushed just below it. What I'm waiting for right now is to see a move from bottom to top of range. We need to flush all the way back up here instead of flushing down, which is what's happened over the last couple of days. But like I said, I do think we might see a little bit of consolidation here for a little bit of time before we arrive there, because we've seen a pretty strong move over the last couple months. Just being realistic, over this year, volume is the greatest it's ever been. We pushed nearly 200% from bottom here at 101. So like this thing might need to cool off for a little while. Tesla's not one to chill, but at the end of the day, if I'm being realistic on price action, this thing might need a little bit of time and consolidation so that we can see a nice healthy move up. I don't want a quick move up and then I want it to dump. I want to see a nice healthy sustained move up that will play out over the long term. Sorry, I'm just posting this here so everybody can get into the stream. Had a couple of late arrivals, but it's been handled. Okay. So. I'm glad everybody understands that. I just wanted to be clear, be sure. Make sure I'm not the only one that's following here. So that's Tesla. Let's take a look at AI. This thing has had a nice day today. We just talked about this in our exclusive Friday live stream. So if you're not in the premium section of the Discord, you don't know what I'm talking about. We trade live every Friday in the Discord, live options trading, live day trades as such. And sometimes we'll find some plays along the way that really make sense. We'll pop out an alert and we'll all make good money trading it. So we were looking at that spread. It absolutely played out so far. It's still continuing to play out. The long is up about 12% overall. I really like this play. I think this is beautiful consolidation on the chart. If you can see volumes ticking up just a little bit here, going to the weekly is where this really makes sense. Buyers have struggled, right? That's when we see these long wicks where the body doesn't fill it out, right? So it's like a little box here with a stick on top. When you see that, it means that they pushed the price up for quite a while, but they weren't strong enough to hold it up there. The sellers came in and just smacked them down like the little fleas that they are, and they did it twice in a row, 2 weeks consistently. This week, buyers are holding their strength, which is a great sign, right? Especially when you see, and this is a very simple pattern that will change your life with trading. Your mind will be blown when I give it to you. You're going to absolutely just be in shock at how simple it was this whole time, but nobody ever told you that's okay. I'm here for you and I love you and I'm going to tell you. Higher high, higher low, week over week. Good sign. Higher low. So far, the week isn't done, but we already have a higher low priced in. Once we get a higher high priced in, what does that mean? That's confirmation that we're trading in the right direction. If you're sat there wondering, like, you know, this trade is green a little bit, but I don't know if I should sell because, to be honest, it's like it's up a little bit, and I don't want to, like, you know, sniff at my profit and then say, you know what, I don't want it. How do I know if it keeps going? That's like the most common question is, hey, how do you know if this trade is just going to keep going to the upside? And it's like, well, here's a simple way for anyone with even the smallest amount of wisdom or knowledge in trading. Here's how you can know for certain that up until the point in which you're thinking about this, you're correct. So anytime we get a higher low, that's a good sign. Ideally, we want higher low and higher high. Sometimes we only get one, and that's okay, but it also means that it's not as strong as we thought it was. So for example, if we're looking at this week of the 7th here, and then we go to the next week of the 14th, okay, we have a higher low, but it doesn't look like we really got a higher high. Okay, so it's not as strong as we thought it was. Then we fast forward another week to the week of the 21st. We have a new high, but we also have a lower low. So what does that mean? Well, is it still trading above support? These are simple questions you can ask yourself that will completely change the way you look at this chart. 2 questions. Do we have a higher low and a higher high? Depending on your answer to that question, are we still trading above support? If you want to know how you can confirm an uptrend, no matter what chart it is, no matter what stock it is, no matter what time it is, no matter where you are, if you're on a boat, maybe you're on a boat, I don't know, and you want to confirm the uptrend on the chart because that's the direction you're trading. So say you saw an alert for calls go out and you're like, oh man, I could definitely see more upside here, but I'm just not certain I'll be able to watch this trade or watch what Austin's saying about the analysis. All you need to do is this. Okay, I trust him, which why wouldn't you? I look at this chart and I see, okay, do I have higher lows and higher highs? Okay, I do right here. That's good. I have a higher low here, but I don't have a higher high. So that makes me a little concerned. That's okay. Then I ask myself the question, am I still trading above support? Oh, okay, the answer is yes. That's why we have these EMAs on our chart. We're trading above support. Okay, we got a higher high again. Oh, awesome. Fantastic. Then we go to the next week. Oh, we got a slightly higher high. Oh, and a higher low. And we're still trading above support. Who would have thought? So given that information, would you say that we have confirmed the uptrend or not? Let's see your answers in the chat. Based on that thinking process we just went through, have we confirmed that we are still in an uptrend and this is still a bullish trade or not? Just type confirmed or unclear as your answer. I would like to see 31 answers because that's how many of you are watching this. Participate in your own trading. Participate in your own education. It's the only way you will be good at this. Nobody else wants to tell you that truth because they want your money. I don't want your money. I want you to be damn good at this. Because also, once you're damn good at this and you're making stupid money, why wouldn't you buy something I was selling? You would. So let's make you rich first. Come on, I've only got 2 answers. Matster says, Jess, bullish trade confirmed. I agree. Chris Franklin, confirm. I agree. Come on. Who else? Who disagrees? I want to see some disagreement. Let's see some controversy here. Who disagrees? Brandon Hall, confirm. Thank you. Rogue Exotic, confirm. Thank you. Boom. Scared you. Stupid question, what's a high low? Aaron, let me tell you something, my son. There are no stupid questions. The only stupid thing about questions is when you don't ask them. That's ignorance. You're being inquisitive, which means you're intelligent. Congratulations. I'm glad you're here. It's not a stupid question. When we look at the price here, okay, so imagine, if you could see my screen, imagine you bought this stock right here at about $35, right? So see where I'm highlighting? This is 1 week time, right? This is the weekly chart, which basically each of these candles represents 1 week of time. This means that throughout the week of the June 30th, the price went from a low of 31.64 to a high of 38.23, and it ended up closing the week at 36.45. So say you bought it right around here, okay? And you're wondering to yourself, okay, how do I know if this was a good time to buy? Well, you bought above support, which is good, which means you have a support base, right? It's like it's a safety blanket, if you will. When you're looking to see what a higher low is, you go to the next week. Boom, here we are. See it with my mouse? This is the week of the 7th. On the week of the 7th, the price went from a low of 35 to a high of 42. So we just talked about the week you bought it. On the week of the 30th, the low was about $31. The week after you bought it, the low was only $35, which means it never even it didn't go as low as it did the week before. So that means you see a week over week from this one to this one, you've got a higher low. So to hopefully make this easier. So if you've ever seen a stock chart, it's going up and down, right? like this. You can see it on my screen. And then we go up a little higher and so, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God. I lost all my money. And then it's like, I should buy more. I should just buy more, but I'm scared. I don't want to buy more. Oh my God, shit, I should have bought more. I can't believe I didn't buy more. Why didn't I do that? I'm so stupid. I should buy more. And it's going up, up, up. And then guess what you do right here? You go, you know what? I was stupid the last time. I'm going to buy more. I'm going to buy more. I'm going to buy more. Yes, I was so smooth. And then you have a heart attack because your life savings is gone. Okay? That is the trader's journey. Everyone goes through it. You are not alone. Do not feel stupid. It's what everyone goes through. It's the emotional roller coaster of trading. Some of you get sick of how much we talk about trading psychology and managing your emotions. You need to get over that shit right now. Here's the hard truth about this. If you can't master your emotional well-being, you will not be good at this. Because every part of you screams for financial security. It's one of the main survival mechanisms of the modern day and age. You need financial security. If you don't have it, you don't feel safe. You don't feel well. You don't feel happy. You don't feel like you can do anything that matters in most cases. When you see people buying and selling like this at random, right? They're trading entirely off emotion. No one's looking at any kind of chart. So looking at this chart we drew here, you didn't sell here. You didn't buy here. You bought up here. Why? Well, with what we we're just talking about of like pricing in looking for a higher high and a higher low. We go up this high, that's a new high. That's good, that means bullish. But then we come down here, this is a new low. It's lower in price than it was back here. So that means that we are potentially in a downtrend. But then it rips back up and there's a new high. Oh my God, we're back in an uptrend. This is great. And when we come down here, we find a higher low. Do you get what I'm saying? This was our most, everything is relative in trading, right? So this was the lowest the price had been during this period of time. This is the lowest the price had been during this period of time. This is the lowest price had been for this period of time. The goal here is to look at the long-term viability of a trend. You want to understand over the scope of 3 weeks, 6 weeks, anything more than a day. As we can see here on this chart, which we're looking at the weekly chart. So these are a week of time. Each one of them represents 1 week. So week 1 versus week 2, we have a higher low and a higher high, uptrend. Week 2 versus week 3, we have a higher low, but we don't really have a higher high. So that means we still probably in an uptrend, but it's not as strong. But then we ask ourselves the question of, are we still above support? If the answer is yes, okay, we're going to maintain bullish because we have nothing to say otherwise yet. Then we go to week 4 versus week 3. We have a lower low slightly, but we also have a higher high, which means price is moving more. So we have to ask ourselves, are we still trading above support? If the answer is yes, okay, I can hold still. It still makes sense to hold this trade. Now we're going to week 5. Oh, higher low, that's good, and higher high. Okay, we're confirmed, we're back in an uptrend. Then we ask ourselves that question, are we still trading above support? The answer is yes. Okay, we have no reason to believe that we are doing anything other than seeing bullish price action, right? Then we fast forward to our 6th week, right, where we currently are right now versus week 5. So week 6 versus week 5. We already have a higher low. Good sign. The price is already trading above where it was when it closed the week before, right? Also good. Now what we want to see next is we want to see this candle push up and basically push us up to 47 bucks. That'd be extremely bullish, right? Which means that week 6 had a higher high and higher low than week 5, which means we stair-stepped our way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does that make sense? We're just incrementally looking. I want to make sure you understand this, Aaron. Oh yeah, you already said you did. Right on. I'm glad you did. I hope that made sense. I'm not the best at explaining this stuff. I feel like I don't know. I'm just not the best teacher. I'm not super great at explaining things. And I agree with what Boogie said. If you're not in that stream, I believe was it Friday? you need to be in it. You're already here, so you already did a good job on that. But let's go beyond that. Let's do better than good. Let's do great. There's a reason people that have been trading with us for 3 years, at least most of them, especially those of you that are in the lifetime membership that are currently doing all of the passive options masterclass stuff that you get for free with lifetime membership. You're doing that with Bull right now. You're now making money while you sleep and active trading. You have the options price target masterclass that I did with you. You have the options day trading masterclass amongst 3-4 others, and the options live streams, and Lee's long-term portfolio where he updates every buy and sell to show you how he balances it. There's a reason that they're crushing it, because they've heard all this stuff for 2-3 years. Sometimes it takes 2 years to sink in, 3 years to sink in. They know that a higher high and a higher low means continuing price action to the upside. They know that managing risk is the most important thing they're ever going to do in their life when it comes to their finances. That's all this is. So don't quit before the miracle happens. Just follow along, show up, and do the work. Even if it feels like you're doing nothing, you are, because you're here. The only way you screw yourself is by never showing up to begin with. Oh, man. Yeah, imposter syndrome is real. It's like every day of my life. It also keeps you humble. Keeps you humble. So that's that. We got a little into price action there. Quick update. Crushing it once again on the AFRM trade. This was put out there for everybody. There's no excuse you didn't get this. There were 3 or 4 opportunities to buy in. If you missed it, you missed it because you just didn't trust the trade. And that's on you, and it's an unfortunate reality, but here we are. We have been talking about this trade for a few weeks now, and it is paying in spades. Very strong move to the upside on strong volume today. This is the daily chart. This thing is ripping. It was trading right around that 200-day as support. Bada boom. New high, higher low, higher high. Bada bang, baby. 1940 was the top there. We need to see this continue to push. We want to see it push over 1958, and then we have more room to the upside. I would say $22, $23 is our next target. Let's take a quick look. I'm going to go in my portfolio here. Give me just a second to see what our options trade is currently up. I do believe it should be very green. Yes, it is. We are up 64%. This was trading up to about 226 today at close. Very green. To me, it's about $600. I have 7 of these bad boys. I am a strong belief in this trade. I think it makes a lot of sense. The setup is absolutely gleaming and glowing, and I love it. So this one's already up about 60%. I've been talking about this for weeks. If you guys haven't done the math yet, if I talk about something that obsessively, it means I've put in the time to figure out that it is a hell of a trade and it makes a lot of sense, and I've talked myself into it and done the research to justify it, and now I'm sharing it with you so that you can make that bread, baby. That's all I care about. So for this AFRM trade, we're going to watch for continuation here. Our next hurdle is going to be about $21. Once we get past 19 and change, we're going to see about $21, with our longer term target being about $31 right here. You see this blue line we've mapped out. Taking this trade was very well thought out. We first identified different time frames that this is traded X amount of dollars. It's traded at about 42-day. In a 42-day period, it's typically moved about 100% or more. So we are just playing the odds here, and we are playing them well. We've already made about 60%. This was a very, very smart, well thought out trade that risk is very well balanced on. You could set your stops now, take some profit now. You never have to see any risk on that table again. Absolutely crushed it. Congratulaciones. We did it. We're going to watch this trade for continuation. Next up, Target. Another one. Crushed it. Just saying. We were buying this at about 127 to 129. This was a phenomenal pickup for long-term equities. We're on the daily chart here. RSI at about 57. We have pushed above our above head moving averages that we're trading as resistance. We pushed above them. Our next real point of resistance, point of contention is about 137.83. We need to push above there because then we've re-entered a new range that bottoms at 137.83 and tops at 154. Let's go. Let's get some of that target money, baby. This is going to be nice. We're going to make some good money here. This is going to be a hell of a trade. Long-term equities, I really, really, really think we got a good setup here. Set your stops. We're already up 10% plus, so don't be afraid. Huge volume coming in today. Looking at the weekly chart, we're seeing similarly not as strong as the daily, but again, the daily moves and the weekly falls. We're going to see a nice push over 137, then we're going to go to about 147, at which point I'd say take some profit. JP Morgan, absolutely ripping, pushing to new highs. I do think above 156.77, this has got a chance to move higher to about 162. I have sold some of our options. Are currently up about 300% on this trade. I have closed most of them. I'm holding two just to see what happens because they'll like a little bit of gambling once I'm up a lot of money. So I'm not willing to give anything back. At most, I'll lose 20, 30% profit, and I will make 300 to 400%. Average return on these leaps for the year, just doing a little quick boop, 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 boop calculation, over 100%. Take that to the bank, because I'm not going to lie, I was a little scared coming into this year with a whole new strategy, adopting an entirely new style of trading. I didn't know how I was going to go. I had a high degree of confidence, but I didn't want to be unshakable. So I tried to mind my P's and Q's and trade smart. PDD, another absolute banger. This one was alerted. And $72. The options trade here is up almost 300%. This thing has absolutely ripped. It's PDD, not PPD. My bad. Oops. So this is our PDD alert. You can see we've already mapped this out. This thing's absolutely ripping. This is the weekly. Let's go to the daily. Let's look at that. We got a nice hanging little doji guy there. This thing could continue to move up. I think realistically we could see 95 with our long-term target being 99 bucks. Don't be stupid. Don't skip profit, because right now you have about 300% on the table for options. Equity, you have about $20 a share. Do not pass this up. Take your profit. Take it to the bank, baby. Looking through here. So let's get into it. It's 4:43, smash or pass. I want to see the tickers that you guys are looking at. We're going to play a quick game of smash or pass. Basically what we're doing here, you put the ticker in, I look at the chart, we decide whether or not it makes sense on a long-term perspective, long only, long bias only, meaning either we're going to buy it, hold it, and let it appreciate, or we're not going to touch it at all, because we're not trading downside here. This is meant to be very simple, clean and clear. If you have a trade in mind that you're interested in, pop the ticker here, and we're going to go through it. I want to see the stocks that you want to cover. That way we cover them, and that way you guys make some money. And smash, pass. Type the tickers in the chat. I got to get a drink of water. Shout out to my assistant Beth. There was already a water placed right there on my desk, ready to go. LA thinks of everything. Type your tickers in the chat. It's time for a game of smash or pass. Welcome back. I was really hoping you guys would just spam the chat. That would be kind of cool. Just spam away. Just spam the chat. Every stock chart you want to look at, just spam it. Just make it ring, hit it in there. I want to see 1,000 stocks in there, and I'll go through 1,000. I'll go through as many as you put. Just kidding. I can see you guys being crazy enough to put 1,000. I think we're going to have to slow it down. I usually go hard for about 40 minutes, and then I got to kind of tune it down a little bit. While we're also doing this, how are you guys doing this year? Are you green? Are you red? Oh, for the year. I don't care about this week. I don't care about today. I care about the year. Are you green or red for the year? Let's see who's really trading and who's dicking around, wasting time and money. Who is making bread? Are you green or are you red? Because for this year, if you like at least my specific picks, I'm up about 100-something%. Now, granted, credit NVIDIA, which bought me a new car. That trade accounts for about 25, now only 25%, given that I've taken profit of those profits. So I would say I'm about 75, 80% up this year. Yeah, dude. They tax your money when you get it, and they tax your money when you give it to someone else, and then they tax your money when you buy something. It totally makes sense, though. Don't question it, because why would you? It just makes a ton of sense. Breckle, we got to figure that out, man. You shouldn't be red this year, man. If you're red, it's probably because of a simple patterned mistake that you've been making for a long time, which means that we can easily fix it. I don't say that to slight you. I say that because it means it's something that's easy to fix. So let's get started on Smash or Pass. Row Exotic AAP, I believe it's Advanced Auto Parts. We talked about this one for a while. Chart is looking tender, juicy, delicious, delightful. It's Advanced Auto Parts. Is that what I said? Who knows? Who cares? Doesn't matter, because we're looking at the chart. Breakout over 74 and change. This has gap fill opportunity. This is a hell of an opportunity to 109. We're going to give this one, I don't even need to look any further. This one is clear as day. This one is a smash. Clear as day. Smash. So for this one, I would watch. You need that breakout over, call it over 75. Keep it simple. Breakout over 75. Trade this thing to $105. Because why not? We're gonna have to look at some options here. So let's see. Let's go. Whoa, got something here. Is this a little double boy setup? This is a triple bottom setup, pretty much for the most part. So long-term consolidation. 65 is long-term support level. Even though you saw some huge selling, you can take this as a position trade. Risk 10 to make 30. That would also make sense. Very, very interesting. This one's going to get a smash. This chart looks terrible on the weekly, but the daily doesn't look too bad, and it's got some room to run. So I would definitely add this to the watch list and watch it over 75, break out to $100. You heard it here first. Get some. That's a smash. Moving on. Takak. I don't know if they're the team of stock. I probably should know that, but I do not know. TSM. Interesting. Just kidding, it's not. I don't even want to look at it, but I will. Ooh, ew, this one doesn't look that great, but the weekly's a little better. Let's look at the monthly. Ooh, there's some downside here. Again, we're looking long bias only. I'm going to have to give this one a pace, man. Trading below moving averages. You got a little bit, not totally a gap down, but you are trading in this weird little gap where it has sunken lower before, and you had a gap up move to get there, which means this either bounces very firmly right here, 98 and change, or it comes down to close the gap. So I'm going to give this one a pass because the risk involved is not worth the squeeze, because I don't think there's that much upside here. Just my opinion. Pass. Pass. If you ain't first, you're last. Let's take a look. NVX. Don't even know what that is, but now we're going to find out. Novonix Limited. What does this company do? This might be a little bit of a bottom feeder setup here. Small cap, definitely. I can tell by the chart and by the volume that this thing doesn't have much going on. This is going to be, it's only trading like 50, 60,000 shares. So they're going to be pushing for some liquidity, aren't they? Few pumps. I imagine this was promoted or social media or something. Huge sellers there. Look at that hourly. So you have some big sellers coming in there, really just dumping a load right on the rest of the general public, 500,000 shares. So they pumped it pre-market, and then someone unloaded there. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a hard pass. Hard pass, no look, swiped, and deleted. Don't look at this one again, my friend. Just walk away. There's some nefarious here. Someone's pumping, someone's dumping. You don't want to get caught in that, because I don't like it right now. I don't like the way it looks. Not right now, at least. I'd have to get more information here, but I'll just tell you right here, right now. Pump, dump, pump, dump, but big dump, big boy dump. Big boy dump. Big boy eat a lot of wings. Big boy take dump. That's what happened right there. You don't want to get caught in that. That's a shit salad. Nobody wants a shit salad. I don't know if you're swinging NIO, but I don't know if you're saying NIO, but I'm going to take it as you're saying it. Oh, yeah, look at that thing. So remember, for those of you that have been following this stream and crushing it, because I like to believe that I'm always right. Not that I'm always right, but I am right a lot, and I genuinely believe that. Why? Because I do my homework. We talked about this on a breakout over 950. We were talking about it back here when we broke above 950. This is back in June. And we said, we posited, if you will, if NIO can continue over 950, wanted to break out, retest, and then a swing up, this thing was going to absolutely rip. I can't remember what we said. I do believe we said 11, and then 13, and then 15, and then 18. And those are exactly the targets that this is playing out, right? It hit 11, hit 9, hit 11, then it has now hit 15. This thing's absolutely ripping. This was alerted by us. For those of you that have been here for the life of this party, we alerted this back in 2020 when it was trading at about $2. I still have a lot of shares of this. I sold most of them as we ran to 66 because, again, it was like tens of thousands of dollars. I'm still holding a decent chunk of shares at around a $4 average, I believe. And so I'm up about 300% now. But, again, this is a long hold. I see a lot of value here. This should be trading at about $30, $40 over the next couple of years, and I'm going to capitalize when it does. So this one's definitely a perma smash, and it's always going to be because they are. As I understand it, state-sponsored. We can't pass up on that. If the Chinese government wanted to support me, hey, Chinese government, I'm interested in the sponsorship. I'm just saying, I'm open. Just kidding, America. Please don't delete me. I just realized I shouldn't have said that out loud because I don't want to get banned. I love America. I would only take an American sponsorship. But I have to imagine being state-supported would be phenomenal. But, hey, you never know. So let's keep going down the list. Jesus Christ Superstar. That is, oh my God, that's fantastic. That is fantastic, and I love it. And you are welcome here anytime, my friend, because that name has just earned you a lifetime of respect on my behalf. So let's take a look at SOFI for you, if I could be so inclined. Absolutely don't even need to think about it, because this thing is smash. Boom. Look at that. So this is the monthly chart here. You cannot turn away from this glory. Trading above the 200-day on the monthly, this thing wants to get back to reclaim its glory, and I think it's going to, because this daily chart, I imagine, yep, good. Weekly, even better. Wow, this thing is just a masterpiece. So let me ask you this. How many of you subscribe to the Rest and Retire newsletter that we put out? It's extremely cheap, and it has made you stupid money. This pick was in that newsletter, I believe, at around $6 or $7. Don't quote me. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was around $6 or $7, which means you were up almost 100%. That newsletter is only $7 a month. You shouldn't, or $9, maybe it's $9. I don't know. Either way, it's so cheap. Why would you miss it? They're long-term growth picks meant to compound your portfolio. They take no time, effort, or energy. You buy them once, you hold it for a while, and then you sell it, and you're done. For those of you that don't have it, you are just making an error that you will regret for the rest of your life. So we're going to drop the link in the chat so you can check out Rest and Retire. You need to have it. If you're a lifetime member, you already get it for free, so you better be reading those emails, because right here is 100% on the table for it, which means if you're putting $1,000 into each pick, you should have made $1,000 off this, which is 10 times the cost of a year of Rest and Retire. So I just want you to know that you should be making stupid money, and the opportunity's there, and we gave it to you. So you're welcome. I love you. And make sure you read your emails. That's going to be a hard smash on SOFI. It's going to get smashed all day, every day. I love you. And I mean that, because that name just, you're the best. Just what a creative name. What a genius name. What's your name in the Discord? Jesus Christ Superstar. You better be in there, or now I'm going to be offended. You better be in there. That's all I know. All right, let's keep going. Mr. Matster. Mr. Software. Mr. Software is asking for Oxy. Boom! There you go. Also, just to toot my own horn, because who doesn't love doing that? Alerted this at $9. Oxy, long-term hold after those dark pool buys. It went up 700%. You're welcome. I hope you made money. You better have, because it was an easy trade. I made it available to everyone, and it was just a stupid profit of a trade. So I like this one above 62.47. This one's getting a smash. I like this nice consolidation here, trading to downside, a little bit of a scoop down, holding very comfortably above 55, which we can look at as our past range if we just go across the last couple of years. Topping off here about 74.59. So I'd argue that it has some room to the upside, but there's a little bit of an issue with that right there. So as long as it holds above $60 or so, I think this thing's gold, and we're going to go ahead and give Oxy a smash. Smash Warren Buffett. Give him a kiss because he loves this stock, and I love it too. So I guess me and Warren are in love. So write that down. Remember it. Do what you got to do because this one looks good on the weekly chart above $60.67. So don't forget that critical piece of information. Now let's keep going here. Michael Abernathy. Hello, my friend. PayPal. I haven't looked at this chart in a little while. And oh, would you look at that? Oh, my Lord. PayPal might finally be ready. So here's the thing. I looked at that weekly and I wanted to say smash, but here's why I can't. This 200-day has been looming for quite a while now. PayPal has struggled. In my opinion, they're lagging behind other payment processors in terms of developing the scope of their business. I think that there's more risk here than there are in other areas. However, from a technical perspective, you got to break above that. Basically, we got to see this thing above $80. Until we see this thing above $80, I don't see a ton of upside here. I just see consolidation and risk. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a gentle caress, but pass. Only because, like I said, I don't see enough really nice upside here to say, yes, smash, let's do it. But I also can't completely walk away because there's still a little bit of love there. But that being said, nevertheless, above $80, you have an option. You have some time. This thing could easily push back to $100. But over 80, only over $80. Until then, keep it moving. Dun, 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 dun. I'm seeing too many reds here. You guys are too red. That's not good. We're going to all have a sit down. You guys need to get into Lifetime, get those master classes. It'll change your life because you shouldn't be losing on these trades. It just shouldn't be happening. Justin Weaver, Carvana. Well, I also nailed this one. Didn't trade it, but nailed it. We called this one. Where do we have it mapped out? Was it like $11 or so? Yeah, from 10 to 16 at least. And then we talked continuation to 23 and then 40. So absolutely smashed it. Now, this one has seen egregious upside, and I'm going to argue that it's a little oversold, and just because of the risk, I think there are better opportunities. The chart's still relatively bullish, but I see better opportunities elsewhere. So I'm going to have to unfortunately give it a pass just because I think that you have some other opportunities in the market that you can make a little bit more money more quickly without as much risk, and I think those opportunities are better positioned right now. So continuing on here. Ooh, I haven't looked at this one. Kahinde, welcome, my friend. OKTA. Woo. Data provisions. OKTA. I know they have the OKTA speed test. OKTA. Interesting. This is trading too low. Yes, it is. Look at that daily chart. So run up, earnings, sank, but then also got gobbled up. So that's super interesting. So obviously this is priced too low, which indicates strength here at about 70. It's only trading at 76. So that's an opportunity to buy. So you got 10% downside. You could take there and take this as a pretty nice trade. Let's look at the monthly here. Ooh, hasn't turned over yet. But very interesting opportunity. I'm going to say this one's a pass for right now, but please remind me of this in the future. This is a watch list item. Because I do think there is some opportunity here. It's just not ready yet. Not ready yet. That's what I have to say. Not ready yet. I just got a difficult relationship. Call me in a month or two. It's worth looking at, but just isn't there right now. We're just in different places right now. You know what I mean? My career is important to me. And OKTA wants to have children right away, which just isn't going to work for me. I'm skipping you if you already said one, so I can find somebody else who did. It's my wife. Please hold. Hey, I love you, but I'm on my stream right now. Got to go by. Are you okay? Okay, I got to go by. Called me and say we're out of dog food. Important message. Even though I know we have some in the pantry, so she's wrong. All right, so DOCU. This is an interesting one. Let's dial in. Let's take a look. DOCU sign. Whoa. Hey there. Hey there, baby. I like the way you consolidate. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I do remember looking at this chart before. We wanted to see that break of 65.40 before this thing really got bullish and spectacular. That's the consolidate. That's our zone. Our range right here is 48.10 to 65 and change. The range we want to trade in is 65 to 190. So above 65 is where we want to get. And I would say that we're going to top out at about $100 here. 93 to $100. So that's going to be our next range. And then we have that opportunity once we break above there. But this one is interesting. So it's bottomed out. You've seen a lot of selling. I would like to know why. I don't have enough information to make that determination for you, but I do think that this one right now is going to get a pass, but it is a very close watch list. So please, again, remind me of this one because I think this one is a very interesting one to watch, and I think that there is some opportunity here. We're just not going to see it right away. Rocket mortgage business is rough right now. This chart looks pretty abysmal if you ask me, but we do have upside to $14. I will say this thing does look kind of interesting here, and it's still got some room to upside for another 30%, but it looks like it's topped off here. So, oh man, why did it have to be? If it was trading right around $9-10, I'd say smash, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and give that a pass. Just because of where it's trading right now. Entry isn't prime, but there is still upside. So if you're a strong momentum trader and you feel like you can basically move with the trade and be nimble and manage your risk, then I would encourage you to do just that. But right now, from the perspective of just buying long, sitting, waiting, and holding, I think that you're going to have some difficulty on an upside. I didn't call my wife out on a recorded live stream, so we definitely have dog food. I know it's in the pantry because I saw it because I carried it inside the other day. We just went through DOCU. Yeah, it's 5:04. So look, my guys, my aim here is to keep this at an hour. I want this to be an hour that you attend every single week. I want you to go through all these plays that we go through on the Smash or Pass and the ones we analyzed before. And I want you to come to this stream prepared with potential trade ideas for those charts we look at or questions about them. The goal here is for you to start being self-sufficient, smart, brilliant, wonderful children that you are, to find the right trades that make sense for who you are based on how you need to trade. So if you're working 9 to 5 and you don't have the time, you want to find trades that have a 2-3 month swing, not an overnight crash or boom. So your homework for this week is to take the charts that we've looked at, come back to this, look at the levels that we've analyzed, to bring me what you think are the best trade ideas, right? We talked about options. We talk about them all the time. We talked about how we pick our expirations. We talk about how we map our price targets. We talk about how we do all that. So what I need you to do is talk about it amongst yourselves. Bring me some trades that make sense based on what you need to trade. That way we can work through the ideas together, and maybe some of you come up with some brilliant ideas I didn't even think of. And then once I look at them, maybe we have some glorious trades. Yes, we do. The real pickle and Olivia too. So does that mean you're the real pickle and Olivia, but the sequel? Or you're the real pickle and you're Olivia as well? That's something I'd like to know for next week too. But if you're not in the Discord, make sure you join the Discord. Mr. Poogie will post the link right there. That way you can get in there. It's free. Take advantage. Don't buy anything. Just take all the free stuff and make some money. That's what it's meant for. But I want you guys, to dial this back. Look at these trades that we've talked about. Look at these charts we've talked about. Based on what you know about yourself, bring me for next Monday your best trade ideas from looking at those charts. That's what you're required to do. That is the expectation. Expiration and strike when it comes to options. Or equities. Here's my buy, here's my target. Bring me a trade that makes sense. That is your homework. I shall see you then. Yeah, there you go. Does it fit your trading plan, and do you even have one? That's the question. That's the question. So, love y'all. Stay blessed now.